Hey everyone, it's Tuesday night again. You know what that means, don't you? It's time to join Mike and Kristie for another episode of Where's My Sage? A show hosted by a psychic medium and a guy on a quest to find Bigfoot. Who would have thought? Together, they will take you on all sorts of adventures, and not with lots of different people. Kristie even gives readings. It's time to sit back, get up and get ready. You can't sample the universe sitting down. Your hosts are waiting. Come on, let's go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Where's My Sage? Taste of the Universe with myself, Mike and Ann Kristie London. And it's going to be one of those nights tonight already. I'm on the. How many of these have we done?
What?
I'm up and down.
Shorted my intro, you big jerk. It's always with my wonderful co-host, Kristie London, because you always hog the intro. So you can at least give me that, right?
Yeah. I'm just blah, 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 blah tonight, you know.
Hi, everybody.
So
we're back.
Yeah, coming to you from Facebook and YouTube. And how's your week been? What's new? What's exciting? What new events have you got going and planned? And as we folks are coming in,
how many drinks did you have today?
I didn't have a single one today, actually.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I didn't have it.
You're a little.
I didn't have. Nope. I did not have a single powered or energy drink today, and I'm drinking apple juice now, which is even crazier.
Oh, and a tough guy mug. I love it.
Yeah, my tough guy mug.
You're supposed to. Yeah. You got your juice. I love it. It's good. It's been a good week so far. It's only Tuesday, but that's good. Today was a great day. Very productive. It's amazing the people you meet and the things that can come of it. So, I'm always cautiously optimistic when things seem like they're going to roll into something because, how things usually work out for me with people who don't follow through. So we'll see, but it was good.
Right.
I had a good business meeting and I had a good student meeting session today, and I'm fighting a head cold, but hey, I'm here and I'm doing it. So how about you?
Awesome. I'm doing good. I'm getting ready to put some things together. We got some events coming up. We got some great guests tonight, which are really getting me motivated, and it's absolutely wonderful. Yeah. But I got a couple of events that you and I are going to hit together coming up soon. So I want to share those quick. The first one's going to be the Parkside Parapalooza 2 in Titusville, Pennsylvania on May 30th. It's from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 a.m. I'm going to be there.
Drinks then.
Yeah. David Grant, Zach and Tammy doing apparel and number 101. Jeff Fent, who we've done some investigations with down at Wildwood. He's going to be down with us.
Jeff. Love him.
And Rebecca and Joe Kirschenbaum, they're going to be doing some spirit art stuff. And Chris Lee Jensen's going to be doing gallery. And Adam Kilmel's going to be doing some paranormal stuff as well.
Adam Kimmel. Can't wait to meet him in person finally.
Yeah, we talked to everybody kind of bouncing back and forth and different. So it'll be good. I got the whole bag. And then the folks that are putting it on, Brenda and everybody that we've been talking to, yeah, we're really looking forward to going down. And this one's only 2.5 hours away for us. So we got that one coming up. And then a couple weeks later, we go back to Pennsylvania again to Paris Storm, So that's more of a Storm Chasers Parafest. But we're going to have a booth down there and, see some friends and folks down there. That's a nice little rundown in Paris, PA.
And this is the one I'm doing readings at, right? That's the one I'm doing readings at?
You're doing readings at, yep.
Yes. So babysitting your table at the first one. It's my turn to babysit the table. And then, okay, so in this one, we're going to be there doing our things together. So people.
We're just there as a vendor doing the Where's My Sage thing. So come visit us. You're going to do some readings and stuff.
It's going to be exciting.
And then the last one we got popping up is the 26th. It's the 10th anniversary of the Sasquatch calling contest in Whitehall. My favorite event of the year. So looking forward to that. And our guest is going to be there as well. Alex is going to be there and the crew. So hopefully I'll be able to drive the green Jeep and take Joe's Jeep and take it up there so we can we get it there. I know Joe managed to get that beast out there for the event. So so we've got those events coming up. We've got some great guests, and I really don't want to miss out on that. So I'm going to pull up my close that down.
Mike is pulling that up. Everybody out there, thank you for joining us. And if you could please like, share, and subscribe and get this show out there, we'd really appreciate it. And this is one you don't want to miss tonight. This is these guests are neat. I've known them for about 5 minutes now myself. You've known them for longer. And already they're fun. They remind me of us, which is kind of scary, but at the same time comforting. So we're not alone out there. Well, and they're so I can run away from you at the end of the day.
Yes, you can. I got to get an hour and a half away. They're 2.5. Everybody's away from me. This is a good thing, even though we're all here in New York, but everybody's away from me. That's probably the safest thing to do. So
I love it because they're very laid back. And I think everyone's going to really enjoy them tonight. So, yes.
So our first guest is Ann Selene. She's an author, a researcher. I can't talk tonight already. Great. Devoted to exploring the unseen architects of the human experience. Her work lives in the crossroads of trauma and transformation, folklore, neuroscience, ancient memory, and modern mysticism, with a background steeped in interest in psychology, metaphysics, and historical inquiry, and brings a rare synthesis to her writing, infused poetic insight with academic curiosity. And I didn't totally butcher that, which is a great one for me. That's a perfect one. And our second guest, Ken Gerhard, is a widely recognized cryptozoologist, author, lecturer, TV personality. He's traveled the world searching for evidence of mysterious animals, blah, 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 legendary creatures, including Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, the Chupacabra, Mothman, the Beast of Gevaudan, and I know I butchered that one. In addition to co-hosting History Channel series Missing in Alaska, Ken's research is featured in close to 100 network TV episodes, including programs like The Proof is Out There, MonsterQuest, Ancient Aliens, Americans Unearthed, as well as UnXplained, William Shatner, Monsters and Mysteries in America on the Animal Planet, Legend Hunters on the Travel Channel, Paranatural on National Geographic, and The Real Wolfman. His credits included major news broadcasts, nationally syndicated programs like Coast to Coast, as well as featuring articles in Associated Press, Houston's Chronicle, Tribune. Man, I cannot talk this evening. This is going to be fun. And then he's got some great books: The Essential Guide to Bigfooting, The Essential Guide to the Loch Ness Monster, and A Menagerie of Mystery Beasts, including encounters with flying humanoids and big birds, modern sightings of flying monsters. He's contributed to publications Fate Magazine. And I have taken some great classes with Ken along the way. So I kind of see him as another one of my little chains in my mentorship. So with all to do, I'm going to try not to break my computer and bring our guests on and see if we get this right. So, and he's got the cool hat. All I can always do is these tactical shirts, So good evening, guys. And hopefully I didn't totally butcher everybody's stuff like I usually do.
No, it's good. Good evening.
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Yeah.
This is, like plain apple juice,
No, you did wonderful. Thank you so much for having us here.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here with you.
Yes, thank you.
Aw, thank you so much. We're happy to have you. Yeah. So, Michael, I'm going to let you start because I know you're excited. But you want to jump right into
I always
whole
love
thing
getting
planned.
into things here. Well, I do.
Wait, but I have a question first, because I'm always interested when paranormal and cryptid meet up. How did you guys meet? Like, how did this happen?
Taking my questions already.
I'm always the one that answers that. I would love to hear you this time.
She put you right on the spot.
Oh gosh. Well,
what's the origin story behind this?
I would say there's obviously a lot of overlap already between, in culturally speaking, between the cryptid field and the paranormal field, and to some extent the UFO field. We're all kind of kindred spirits in having an interest in the unexplained. And even though cryptids are my forte, I've always found like all facets of the paranormal interesting. So we have, a lot of mutual friends, I think. And so we kind of were like in the same circle initially, but we did meet at the Arkansas Paranormal Expo in 2018 or 19.
It was, hold on.
This was
19.
Just a brief encounter where we spoke briefly. I had a table there, and then I guess a couple years later,
2021 maybe, or no?
Well,
2022.
Yeah, maybe it was 20.
No, it was 2021.
21 Squatch Fest, which is a great Bigfoot related conference up in Washington State, and we kind of met up again, and we just kind of started messaging each other. She invited me to be on her podcast, and she was running a radio station and stuff. So we just started talking.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, well, I mean, it was one of those things where at the time I had my podcast, The Caravan Library of Lore, but I also had KPNL Radio, which, that started January 2020, but my podcast had been running since 2015. And so at this time, I was running people's podcasts, and I was really connected to a lot of people. And I ended up getting a message from whoever made those action figures.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you're going to be at the conference." Yeah.
He was instrumental in the Ken Gerhard action.
Oh, that is so cool.
Well, yeah, because the guy reached out to me and said, "Oh, you're going to be at the same conference that Ken is going to be at." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, I want you to message him or go up to him and ask him if he would do this, if I could make this action figure." And I was like, "Okay." But of course, at the time, I was really nervous. Of course, you were on TV and you and I hadn't really ever talked. All I tried to do in Arkansas was ask you if you had a book. You ran out, and I got so nervous. I was like, "Okay." And then I just bailed. So
we all have those socially awkward moments, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, but so then after Squatch Fest, we started talking, and I had you on the podcast.
Started talking online, and we just kind of, I don't know, we connected on a lot of levels as far as obviously different fields overall, but some overlap in terms of, things that we like to talk about and stuff.
I think that being able to have a mutual level of curiosity is something that really helps, because I know that I was really curious about your viewpoints and your scientific, path. And then you likewise were really interested in the way that I thought and the way that I was approaching things. So we've been able to really learn a lot from each other in regards to, all
different perspectives. It's kind of cool.
That's wonderful. Very good.
Thank you.
I love that story.
That was the real reason I wanted to get you guys on there. Is just to look at the variance of backgrounds and how you look at things. We kind of do that crazy thing, but you're sitting on classes with you, and can you do your weekly classes and stuff like that? Can you explain to the audience some of that? And I know, Ann, you really helped to kind of push some of us with those classes. So
yeah, she's been very supportive. It's been really nice. So exploring cryptozoology on Patreon is my Patreon page, and there I do host a Patreon exclusive online cryptozoology course. So it's been going on now for a couple years, and I had some great students that went all the way through. I've had some nice students like you that have popped in where your interests were, and that's always cool too. So it's been a lot of fun. I think I'm about to do the final class in session 2. So it'll be, I think, the 14th class overall. And then I'm going to start over again probably in a month or so. I've got some, a new group of students coming in to start from the beginning. But anyways, it's foundational. We start with zoology and animal discoveries, and I talk about geologic timelines, but then we have specific classes that cover, one for Bigfoot, one for the Loch Ness Monster and aquatic cryptids, winged cryptids, cryptid carnivores, investigative techniques, and everything from the Yeti to you name it. So it's been a lot of fun for me, and it's really kind of helped me brush up on my repertoire of knowledge in terms of I'm very much about like details. So the dates, the names, the places. I hear a lot of misinformation out on social media these days where people are enthusiastic about cryptids. That's great, but they'll start misremembering the facts, and that to me is a problem. I think it's got to be about the facts, man.
And you spent time working at the San Antonio Zoo before you joined us crazies up here in New York, and
I was a volunteer educator at the San Antonio Zoo for 9 years, which was an amazing experience. I don't have a scientific degree. My father was a scientist, so I kind of grew up in that household, but just getting to work with real zoologists and biologists and conservationists. And, we had an amazing bird collection. So I got to handle critically endangered birds that were being hatched, and a lot of cool animal encounters. So we were just talking about spiders before the show. We don't have to go into that. One of the things
she is my people.
Up in the classrooms, school kids would come in on field trips, and I would typically get out, all kinds of snakes and big scary spiders and scorpions and handle them and show them that there's a lot of, fear about certain types of animals, but most animals, if handled properly and identified properly, are not dangerous. There's a lot of misconceptions about snakes. I was at a conference this past weekend where I got to help handle a 200-pound anaconda, and people were freaking out and saying, "Oh, I'm so afraid of snakes." And I said, "Man, only 10% of snakes are dangerous. You could, I don't know." Anyways, I'm kind of rambling.
No, it's good. It's good. I love hearing.
No, it's true.
Miss the zoo. We love upstate New York. I do miss working at the San Antonio Zoo for sure.
Yeah. Doing that volunteer time and stuff like that at zoos is absolutely wonderful. I spent quite a bit of my youth volunteering at a local zoo in my area. So now you're both authors, and I have a bunch of Ken's books in my other room, but Ann, you've got something new. Can you tell us about your new project?
Yeah, let's hear about that.
I do. So it's called Signals from the Elephant Cage, Ethereal Transmissions and the Echoes That We Carry. It started out as a personal experiment where I was curious about what is remote viewing, and if it's something that can be done, like if I'm sitting here in one state and somebody else is in another state, can it also be something that can be done through time? So can I view possibly like where my father was? So he was stationed in Brindisi, Italy, and there was an Anflare 9 antenna. So it like helped listen behind the Iron Curtain and all that stuff. And so he didn't really tell me a lot about his time when he was there. So I tried to remote view, if you will, or I thought that it was remote viewing at the time, that time and place. But what was really interesting about that is the very next morning, I got a Facebook message from somebody, and they said, "Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of your dad. I was the wife of somebody that he had served with there at Brindisi." And it was something that was really powerful to me, and it was very synchronistic. And so the experiment kind of continued from there, and I logged it all. I wrote everything down. So what I did is I tried to interpret it into a book, so that way when somebody reads it, they can kind of follow along. And I'm really interested to see that while somebody is reading the book, if things begin to happen for them in their life, if they start noticing synchronicities, if it, kind of kicks something off for them. And then in the back of the book, there's actually like journal pages. So they can write in it at the back, if they had any experiences with reading it. So we'll see. It was kind of an experiment.
That's super cool. I know I've had some conversations with other people over the years too. For those of us who can remote view and do things like that, it's really interesting to see what it's like for other people who do it too, right? Because we have all have different experiences. Have you ever heard of the movie? It's an old one, A Moment in Time, I think it's called, with Christopher Reeve and Jane Stewart.
Yes.
When I first saw that when I was younger, my mom introduced me to it, and I was like, oh my God, that is so cool, because even as a kid, I felt, you could just tell, I knew there was something to that. Like there was an element of reality there. And I think it's very true to what we do and what we can be capable of, you know, as human beings, and what's really out there that we really have no idea, you know, the things, the levels we can unlock, you know, if we really tap into the energy and the frequencies and the different things that are out there. It's pretty amazing. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have you done any?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we gotta.
Here. If I lose, you guys, I'm really sorry. Like,
we're all gonna get hit with this thing tonight.
Yeah, I guess it's starting here first.
Yeah, and I have the backup, you know, just in case I lose signal. Have you done any formal remote viewing training at all?
No, I haven't. And that's what's so interesting, is that I ended up learning that about the differences between, you know, it seems like there is a remote viewing community that has a lot of protocols that are in place. And it's, you know, they have like double blind experiments where you might have one person and then like a handler, and you don't know what it is, but your handler does, or sometimes your handler doesn't. And so then that would be where it's double blind. And I know this is really an ambiguous explanation, but this is where my level of knowledge is at this point in time. And so I'm wanting to get into that and learn more what that is, because I changed the word remote viewing on the cover to ethereal transmissions, because as I began to learn more, I really felt like what I was doing was not actually remote viewing, that it was something else. So
I think we lost Kristie on that one with this wonderful storm coming in. So have you ever looked at the Monroe Institute at all? Or some of
loosely, I know about it, and I would love to take classes from there, but you know, that'll come in time. I think that'll be one step at a time. I'm taking classes now for something else. I just got accepted into university, so I'm gonna try to go for my bachelor's in psychology. I'm really excited.
Excellent. I do have a connection down at Monroe Institute. Actually, one of the instructors for my original Reiki class is the director down there. So and a good friend of mine, a couple of good friends of mine actually teach down there.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, so I will put you in contact with some of those folks. So
thank you very much.
Yeah, I keep getting. I need to go down there too. So Kristie and I say we got to go down there. We got to go down there. My buddy Brian, who actually took care of my master, who passed, used to teach down there all the time. He was more in energy healing, but we're trying to get. Actually, my friend Shannon was trying to bring Joe here to our area, Joe McGonigal, who was so. Maybe I can hook you guys up in the long run on that. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Along with the books that you guys have a upcoming tour coming, correct? Going overseas to Scotland and a little vacation trip. That sounds kind of awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Next, thanks for mentioning it. Next summer, the end of June, beginning of July, we are going to be leading a tour to Scotland under the auspice of Mysterious Adventures Tours.
Yep.
Which is a company that's been doing sort of really cool ghost tours around the world, Egypt, Ireland, Japan, all kinds of cool places. And this is going to be their first foray into cryptid tours. So we're obviously going to focus on Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. Just a couple of days of research there. And then we're going to look into the Big Gray Man of Ben McDewey, which is kind of a Yeti/Phantom Monster. Mountain Giant, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. The Monster of Glamis Castle.
Yeah.
The Black Shuck or Phantom Hellhound of what was the one that started with an R?
I don't know. Well, Selkies and Kelpies.
Yes, Selkies. Anyways,
a lot.
The Scree. I mean, a lot of cool legendary. The fairies.
Yeah.
Check out the fairy pools. So, for anyone that's interested, they can go to Mysterious Adventures Tours website and download a brochure. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to just tooling around Scotland, investigating a lot of these creature legends, and people can come along and join in the fun.
So that's interesting. I've never seen that pop down like that before. My little banners here. Goodness gracious. I am pushing all the wrong buttons. You guys have got me all flustered.
I'm telling you. I apologize if it happens again. I don't know if I'll get it back. My whole Wi-Fi went down. My whole thing was red over there and everything. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
So you think we were like doing this for like the first time tonight, which is crazy.
Speak for yourself. This is out of my control, man. It's no operator here.
So Mike is coming in from the Netherlands, so that might be a trip close for her. So she's coming in and watches us every week, first thing in the middle of the night there for them. Patrick's having problems with the power too, so I've been watching his when you disappeared. So you've been to all these incredible places around the world, Ken. What is the most amazing location that you've been to look for cryptids?
Oh gosh. Sometimes it's hard to choose, but I'll have to say that I've really enjoyed the jungles of the Amazon jungle. It was pretty amazing from a biodiversity standpoint, and I've also done some research in the jungles of Central America. So it's hot, it's humid, there's a lot of bugs, and some of them are huge. Snakes we were talking about, but man, there's just the spirit of exploration. You look at guys like Colonel Percy Fawcett, hacking through the Amazon with their machete centuries ago, and that was kind of really what exploration was about back in the day, when all these many new species were being discovered at the turn of the 20th century. So I've investigated werewolves in France, and I've done some cool things in Mexico, and Alaska, of course, was an amazing experience. I got to work up there for a while. So Scotland, still, I've been to Loch Ness a couple times. It's pretty beautiful and pretty amazing place. So it's hard to choose, but hacking through a jungle, maybe I'm getting a little too old for that now. I don't know what it's been a minute, but I love wildlife and biodiversity, and when you go into those types of habitats, you just see so much amazing wildlife. Just everything. But I've got a funny story from the Amazon. When I was there when I was a kid, and we had a jungle guide who was taking us down a path, and I picked up a tarantula. Mm-hmm. And I just, I was maybe 9-10 years old. Of course, I'm going to pick up a tarantula. And he turns around and he sees it in my hand, and he swats it out of my hand and chops it up with the machete and said, "Do not touch anything. Don't touch anything." I was like, "Okay, yes, sir." So we start going down the trail a little bit farther, and then I see this beautiful caterpillar. It's like purple and orange and green, like a woolly bear type caterpillar. And oh, this beautiful caterpillar. He turns around and he does the same thing. He goes, "That's poisonous. Don't touch that." Chop it. So anyways, I guess I learned at a young age that biodiversity is cool, but maybe just don't touch everything,
Yeah.
Don't touch.
Oh my
Even
God.
pretty things are deadly.
You are a brave man.
Oh goodness.
I am not a bug guy at all. I'm the guy that walks out and I can have every bit of deep whatever spray net on, and I'm getting just eaten alive. And we have lots of friends and we've interviewed on the show. You guys have seen from Naked and Afraid, and it's like, "You're gonna go on with this?" I have no problem with the survival aspects, but as soon as I started getting chewed up, we were in Florida with Alex Petikoff. I'm running up and down the thing, and I thought Alex was gonna like throw something like a tree at me or something because I got chewed up. So I don't know how you're running around down there, or get a bot fly. We've had friends that had those things chew. Like our friend Ray, talking about going through and having one like chewing, and he's like, I can hear it chewing underneath my skin, and I'm like, no,
no, I am out. No, thank you.
I will stick to the northeast. We got our black flies and some brown recluse, but big mosquitoes and just can't chiggers.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
You can have it.
Ticks are bad enough. So, what's your favorite piece of equipment to use when you're out there doing all these great investigations?
Oh gosh. Well, admittedly, I'm perhaps behind the times a little bit and more low tech. I've been doing this for a long, long time. I'm generally an old tech kind of guy. I was a musician for many years, and I was all about analog, analog synthesizers and recorders and things that are now extinct. So I just got a really cool new call blaster from Fox Pro. So, I've used call blasting. I'm not one of those guys that does a good Bigfoot yell or howl. I know a lot of people can do that, but I've had fun experimenting with that because, you do have access to a lot of different types of animal sounds. So obviously you can use the native sounds of animals in distress and stuff. It depends on what you're researching. So I'm researching like a mystery cat, like a quote unquote Black Panther, that I'm, putting out those animal distress calls, or maybe mountain lion mating calls or things like that. But I've actually had some cool experiments where I've downloaded different things. And, one time in Boggy Creek with Lyle Blackburn, we caused something to move around once we started playing hyena sounds. We had these recordings of African hyenas like laughing and dancing around. And we'd been playing all kinds of things all night and didn't really get a reaction. But as soon as we started blasting that through the bottoms, there was something big moving around. So sometimes it's fun to just kind of think outside the box and, project different types of sounds. Sound obviously can carry quite well, good distances in the wilderness. So it's, I'll say that. I like the Fox Pro call blasters have been a lot of fun to play with.
And they have a hell of a, part of my language, library of sounds to choose from and download and stuff like that. So
including Bigfoot sounds on their database, or calls and howls. So they've got a huge database that you can access. So that's been a lot of fun.
Must be that base in Pennsylvania where, something down there they're just not telling the rest of us about or something.
Right.
And when you do you do a lot of field work with your honey over here, or do you do a lot separately?
It's one of those things where before I moved to Texas, I had flown down to Ohio, and I did do some, we explored Fairfield Infirmary, and then we also went out in the woods. At Fairfield, it was one of those things where I definitely feel like I encountered something, just because I felt like there was a hand that went into my hair like this, and I could feel it on the back of my head. And that was definitely scary. And then in the woods, we were out doing more ghosty type stuff, but there was a silhouette that looked like the traditional cutout of the Bigfoot, but I questioned it and felt like, okay, well, this is just my fear mind, because we're not out here for this. And we heard something hit the vehicle that we had drove in on, and we could hear some walking. And so we left the area and we went out into the field. And then, of course, she ends up putting this, the Ohio Howl recording on her phone, and it responded. And it sounded exactly like that. And it sounded like somebody, something picked up a tree and hit another tree. And I was done at that point. And so I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I know now that there's something out there. But then, when I moved, so in 2023, I kind of started focusing more on my writing. And so I haven't really done a lot of field stuff because I've been really deep in research and writing since then.
So
definitely having grown up in Oregon, she's definitely used to some being in the woods and stuff for sure. We've done a couple things, not too many, but
right.
Okay.
My child. One second. Sorry.
We have a young life form that's in the, I was going to add that, when she's talking about her experience of the shadow and stuff, this was actually near Minerva, Ohio. So I'm sure Mike has heard of the Minerva Monster, which is it's kind of in northeastern Ohio. So there is a history of Bigfoot, Sasquatch activity in that particular area where she saw this shadow and heard the sounds and stuff like that. So
sorry,
that's interesting.
That's okay. I have 3. I know how that goes. So because everybody's different, I wanted to ask you, how do you describe yourself with your gifts? What do you call yourself? What are you? Who are you?
That's funny.
As far as your gifts go.
So I have tried before in the past to, I guess, put on a label to see how it would fit and how it would feel, but nothing has ever really stuck because, especially with my evolving education or belief system, I'm not really sure I'm just evolving as a person, right? So now I kind of sit there and question how much of it is what we traditionally believe to be a psychic medium type of a thing, but how much of it also could be like when you're neurodivergent and you're really good at picking out patterns and you're really good at like micro expressions and then like the what was that terminology, the predictability,
patternicity and
right. So how much of that plays into all of this for me personally? This isn't like a blanket statement for everybody. This is just like for me personally. And so now as well, going into a university for a psychology degree, I'm even more curious. And like, I posed a question over the weekend to you that I wondered how much, like, when it comes to like physics and microbiology, how much are we connected to all of this that we just haven't really been able to tap into? Because if you look at witchcraft, people thought, oh, that's magic-y stuff and whatever. Well, now we know that there's science to it. Like you can use willow bark and it's aspirin. So there's like a science thing to it. It's not any kind of a magical woo-woo type of a thing. There's actually, something there. And I think that there is something there for this particular topic as well on some kind of a level.
Well, yeah, science and the metaphysical are kind of like on the opposite side of a very thin sheet, right? Because if the metaphysical exists, then there most surely is science behind it. So there's science behind everything. Everything in our universe is physics and biology and all these different things. So yeah, I agree with that. I think that what was referred to as magic and witchcraft in the past, some of that has kind of evolved to have a scientific understanding. There's still obviously a lot of things that we don't understand about, what we're talking about here, which is mediumship and the ability to kind of pick up frequencies and energies and detect things and recognize that all of us have different sensory abilities, right? As far as what we can
exactly perceive. And one thing that is harder to explain that wouldn't be dealing with that, the patternicity, micro expressions and stuff like that, is doing like the intuitive readings. And I just call them intuitive readings because I pick the cards. They'll have like a magnetic feeling to them. Again, I'm not really sure how to explain that, but And then I kind of go with whatever number pops in my head. But here again, why does that number pop in my head? Is it something that my brain, my subconscious on a regular psychological level shows me and has, because I've been doing it so long as well, that maybe that's just like a good pattern to keep or something. But or depending on how I know the person, so then I choose that. And then everybody who's had a reading have always said that it's very, it's been very moving. It's changed things. It's helped them. And so, and I'm blessed to be able to do it. All my readings, though, are donation based. I always say, whatever you feel in your heart to, if you want to give me a hug, a bit of advice or whatever it is, like I'm cool with that. That can change. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm not sure if I'll ever know a label to wear with that.
That's awesome. That's why I asked, because so many people are like, I want to label myself.
She predicted the final score of a States game a couple years ago. I remember that was like,
and it was right on
right at the beginning of the game, and she was like 27 to 21.
But I also said how he would do it too.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
So that was
man.
But there still could be patterns in that.
We're still not throwing money down on anything yet. But
I was gonna say I watched that. Gambling is legal in New York now, so you never know. So knowing what you can do and what you're capable of, and the things that you are able to tap into for yourself, we'll say, how much of that do you think you bring to the table when doing something, in the field or with Cryptid? Because as a medium myself, and someone who's gifted, if I go out into the field, sometimes I wonder, it can be not tricky, but we're going to pick up on things that other people are not going to, but maybe are not realizing they are. So to be able to make the determination, I think that's an energy. That's not an actual physical being. Right. So like the hand that went up on your head, I've been touched too, but it's been by spirit, not anybody that was alive or physical. So were you able to tell the difference? Like, was it actually something or someone behind you, or do you think it was like an energy?
I mean, it was just one of those things where it felt like if he was to touch me right there, right now,
right,
it's the exact same feeling. But
right.
I guess where my mind goes is there's no way to definitively tell. There's no, I can't go back in time. I can't measure it in any way. And so I just look at it as an in the moment thing. Like, okay, this was my experience. Right. I don't know what it was, just because and I guess right now, the big thing that I'm struggling with, and this, is like, yes, I'm spiritual, but I'm also really delving into the science of things. And so there's this like push and pull where it's like the spirituality and the science side are kind of coming up against each other a little bit. Right. And so in a situation like that, it's just kind of like, I just kind of leave it because there's no way to measure it, So
interesting. I always love hearing other people's perspectives and what they think and how they feel, especially when they've experienced something themselves.
Right.
Because everyone, it's different. So it's just always interesting to me the way, just to hear what people think, how they experience things like that, what they think about it. So thank you for that.
I was going to add that, I don't consider myself to have any type of, intuitive I'm, sometimes I can pick up on people's, energy a little bit in terms of most of that is just kind of like, probably you're talking about micro expressions and things like that. But I tagged along on a ghost hunt one time, and it was South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee, which is a pretty famous abandoned hospital. Yeah. And we were there for the weekend, and the power was off. It's like an abandoned building, so we're kind of camping. And I had one experience where I had to walk down to use the bathroom by myself down this dark hallway. And I don't know if it was nerves, but it really did literally feel at one point like, and I wasn't scared. It didn't scare me. It was just kind of a weird sensation of like kind of an electricity, like very low voltage running through my body and tingling. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't feel like scared or freaked out. I was just like, what am I feeling? What is this kind of tingly? So that's the only thing. But I was in a supposedly famous haunted location. So maybe people that aren't necessarily advanced in their intuitive abilities can still sometimes kind of be in the right place at the right time and have the ability to be a conduit just in that situation. Is that possible? Could that?
So. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, we're all energy, right? Everything is energy, including us. So I always tell people it's like, you know, those stupid math problems we had to do in, what was it, geometry or something, where you had the two intersecting circles and you had to figure out what that little slice in the middle was. It's kind of like that. We all have energy, and no matter where you're going, you're bumping into someone or something else's energy. So you're taking on that energy. So we're able to read. That's like the intuitive. You're reading that energy. So it's interesting. That's good.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, I know Michael's chomping at the bit. He's got all these questions.
I have so much going through my brain right now. Like I said, I put the questions together, and it's like putting this mix together is like that never-ending soup that you put on the back, and you just keep adding things to it, and it changes the flavor, and we just kind of go, "Yep, this is what I want. I want more of this." But then you go back, and it's more what you want, but it's not the same as what you were going. It's kind of where I'm going with the questions today.
Well, and there's a question that we definitely need to ask. You would never use your partner as bait for Bigfoot, would you? You would never leave your partner in the woods, would you?
No,
I would volunteer for it.
I wouldn't do that. No.
Are you sure?
Okay, whether you volunteer for it's immaterial right now, Ann.
If there was we know based on past data points that if there was a creature approaching, that you would run off and abandon me. So
okay, there's a whole history to this.
I know nothing.
So in that moment, I wouldn't fault you for having a save myself mentality, and then I'm the bait, and you're running off to get, I guess, Mike and whoever else we can get to come rescue me from a Sasquatch.
That's funny.
Oh, see, it's so bad because if you listen to other podcasts that I've done, there are stories. One time I was with my sister. The other time I can't remember. It was with Heather, I think, Heather Mosier.
Oh yeah,
and
you were just telling where you left all the other researchers out by the Minerva Monster.
Yeah, so I sit there and I hear something, and then I just bail. So yes, there is data that shows I do that. So I start out as the bait, but you ended up being it. So
yeah, I'd have to tie you to the tree or something.
I mean. So the answer is yes, you would leave her. Okay, gotcha.
I'll say that. Let's segue this into an actual valid discussion about Bigfoot research, which is, for years there's been kind of an idea of many ideas in the Bigfoot field that females could potentially have a better chance of attracting a Sasquatch because they give off less of an aggressive kind of machismo energy. It's more of a passive, and so. So I know that there are, groups of female researchers who felt like they've had better success sort of bringing a Sasquatch close to camp or whatever, because they're not giving out that, tough man, I'm going to shoot you kind of attitude. It's more of a passive kind of.
It's the softer side of us.
Yeah. And actually, I'll try to say this in kind of an age appropriate kind of way, but back in the 70s, there were Bigfoot researchers that were experimenting with female pheromones and things like that, trying to use that potentially that would pique the curiosity of a Bigfoot or Sasquatch. And I'm not exactly sure where that idea came from. Although, if you look at things like the Yeti and the Sisamito and even Sasquatch in North America, many of the old legends and traditions of the native people talk about them abducting women and, taking women. The whole caveman throwing her over the shoulder and taking her back to the cave. Those stories actually, Michael backed me up on this. If you talk about the Yeti or the Sisamito, which is a Central American Sasquatch, that the old King Kong, Fay Ray, kind of connection where these Sasquatch, and I don't know if there's any validity to that or not, but it's definitely worth considering that a female might, have a better chance of luring in a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch.
You had to say those pheromone chips. I am still having nightmares because we had some of the original MonsterQuest ones that Doug put together.
Oh yeah, I've had those.
Yeah, they were in the bottom of somebody's truck for I don't know, God know how many years from the time they filmed. So what, 10 years or so?
Oh,
pull those things out. Like,
yeah, they
not get that smell out of my head for.
They smell pretty strong. Those are not human pheromones typically. I don't think.
No,
gorillas and things.
I've been around some nasty things over the years. That was pretty bad.
Oh my gosh.
So now that you're here in New York, where do you guys want to investigate, research? What do you want to check out paranormally or on the cryptid side of things?
Well, obviously, everyone keeps telling me, all my Sasquatch colleagues keep telling me, get up into the Adirondacks. That's where there's great activity. A lot of people say, still around Whitehall, but in some of those areas, there's some good spots. I'm really excited about lake monsters because we didn't have a lot of those in Texas. But not only do we have the Lake Champlain monster up here, but you have the Seneca Lake monster and Old Greenie and Lake Cayuga. And there's a bunch of what?
Gloucester.
Well, that's Massachusetts, Gloucester Harbor, but that's a spot we want to check out, right? Mm-hmm. And then for years, or a few years ago, I did a Thunderbird expedition in north central PA, the lower Susquehanna River Valley near Coudersport, and some of those places where there traditionally for years been accounts of giant birds with 16, 20-foot wingspans. And so, I'm hoping to kind of get back down to some of those areas as well.
I would like to, it's not in New York, but I want to see like the mounds, the Adena, and the Serpent Mound. And then I've heard about something, it's the American Stonehenge or something that's over Eastmore. And so I want to do more, stuff like that. But
lots of history.
I'm a big history nerd too. We got to go see Washington's Crossing, and I was like totally geeking out.
That's good though. That's good. That's awesome. You're experiencing new things that you really want to see.
Yeah.
New York does have a lot to offer on many levels, but taxes and but it really does. It really is a beautiful state.
It's really beautiful up here, and the people are all super friendly and
good.
Oh, I want to find the salamanders too.
Oh yeah,
salamanders?
Hellbenders.
The Hellbenders.
We didn't make it out last year.
We got a guy.
Really?
We got a guy.
Awesome. Okay. Let's go find some Hellbenders.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. So we tried to do it last year, but it just didn't work out timing wise. Yeah. But I love big amphibians. We got a huge amphibian right here around the corner. We don't have time to get them out right now, but
yeah. Sir Froggington is carnivorous.
I love that.
So yeah,
awesome.
You guys will definitely enjoy Seneca Lake, that history, the new nature museum going in over in that area, this Finger Lakes region. I mean, this is my backyard, so that's
awesome.
It's just absolutely amazing stuff like that, and you got that thing right on the same parallel. UFOs, you guys have both chased those. I guess that's been a big thing in the news lately. Is there anything that kind of pops that subject to you guys, or anything interesting that pulls with these new reports that are out there?
Gosh, I don't know.
It's a cool topic. I would say, I have a hypothesis. I don't really know, if we are being visited, which is kind of the premise of the whole UAP, right? There's this other intelligence that's coming down and has been visiting us for a long period of time. I often wonder, and we've talked about this, whether it's actually us in the future. Because, we were just talking about history and how much people love to study history. And you can imagine if we evolved to a point where time travel is possible, then why wouldn't our, descendants come back in time and kind of study us? And, the humanoid form, which is so frequently reported from the little grays to all these other supposed alien archetypes, if you think about a humanoid form, that is something that has evolved here on our planet under a very specific pressures, right? Humanoids, hominins have evolved here. So what are the odds that a hominin form would evolve at a different place in the universe? You know, that to me is, I mean, I guess it's not impossible, but I don't know. What do you guys think of that? Are we being visited by future humans that have gotten the technology to kind of come back and check us out?
I mean, it's definitely an interesting take. For me, of course, what I'm interested in is the fact that people immediately, when you think, I mean, at least from what I'm gathering, is that when people see UAP, UFO, there is an automatic connection to alien. And when you think of alien, you also think that they're up and that they're more intelligent than us, which then kind of goes into how humans have always had I want to say this carefully, like with religion and God and stuff like that, and how, again, that's also up. And so psychologically, I'm really interested in that belief system and why it is that we are reaching for, a higher intelligence that is up. I don't know. That's my weird tangent.
That's a good point.
And I've stayed away from it forever, this whole kind of the UFO thing is like, yep, we're gonna find the Bigfoot stuff first before, and yet all this stuff is coming out, and I'm like, I guess I picked the wrong numbers for the craps table,
I think it's all connected in some way, on some level, right? Because I think it all goes back to the fact that everything is energy, in some way, shape, or form, right? I think that's something science has proven, and I think it's just. But I also believe, on some level, we aren't supposed to understand all of it either. I don't know. I just feel like maybe not supposed to is the wrong way to say that, but
I agree.
I don't know that we'll ever achieve that.
Yeah.
Right. Or that we'll be able to we're capable of achieving it at that level to truly connect all the dots, but hopefully to gain a better understanding, because if you think about it, if there is an ascended version of us somewhere, that's the whole point. They've ascended. So they've gone through something to get to that point, which is why they couldn't do it when they were at our level, but they can do it now. I guess that's where my mind kind of goes. So, but who knows, right? Because it's all, it's just.
Agreed. I think there are many things beyond our current understanding and comprehension. As much as we'd like to know what's actually happening, we haven't evolved intellectually to the point where we can understand all of these concepts.
Yeah, for sure.
So unfortunately, we've got 2 storms moving through the area. So we're going to have to unfortunately wrap it up a little earlier than planned this evening. So what events do you guys have coming up? And again, just to recap the book release and stuff like that, I'd like to get that info out to everybody, and then I'll make sure we have links and everything tied in. So what do you got coming big events wise?
Awesome. Well, thank you again for having us. It was a really fun discussion. I think we really had a good time.
Yeah.
Next weekend on the 30th, I'm going to be at the Red River Gorge Bigfoot Festival in Kentucky. And then the following weekend, we're going to be at the Cryptids and Paranormal Conference in New Jersey. And I can't remember the name of the town. It starts with a J. I'm sorry. But I'll find all of this on our social media. We'll also be at the Forest County Bigfoot Festival in Pennsylvania. Both of us will be speaking. That's
separately.
I think that's on the 12th or the 15th, something like that. Anyways, go to my Facebook page, and I've got a banner with all of our upcoming dates and appearances. We just got booked in Canada, so we're excited to be at the Sasquatch Festival up in Quebec, and that's going to be in August.
Yeah,
I think so.
Very nice.
So yeah, lots of public appearances.
You're busy.
Trying to
for
be.
sure.
That's great.
And then my book, you can find it on Amazon, but I'm also doing author signed copies, so they can just find me on Facebook under Ann Selene. And the book is called Signals from the Elephant Cage, Ethereal Transmissions, and the Echoes We Carry. So
I love that title.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I feel like it just reaches that level that we need to go to, right? That level of understanding that we're searching for. So I like that a lot. Yeah.
Oh, that means more than you know. Thank you.
And maybe we can have you back on and kind of hear what the feedback you've got on the social experiments with the book and where that rolled out.
I love that. That would be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, I would love that. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of people, there are a lot of people out there, our listeners and our viewers that love to follow those kinds of things, because they experience them themselves. So
right.
Yeah. So go check out her book.
Thank you.
Well, it was such a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much. This was definitely a great conversation, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well.
It was an honor, truly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who listened in.
Thanks. And if you guys want to just hang out for a second, we'll be right there. And again, sorry we had to cut it short with the weather system tonight. So thanks, guys. Thank you so much. All right, we'll pull that there. So great guests. Love talking to them. Love taking classes. Just get a chance. Do that. We've got some upcoming thing, but again, with the storms coming through, we got to cut it tonight. So please be safe and
safe on. Good night, everybody.
Right.